Zips Nation.
Love
Zips
it.
Nation Insider. So today is an anniversary, a milestone of sort. Exactly 100 days today from your press conference.
Very nice.
Exactly 100 days.
If I bring it up, Dr. Goodrich will be the 6th athletic director I've worked for here at the University of Akron.
Cool.
So,
All right, we're rolling. Everybody ready?
yeah, let's do it.
Welcome to Zips Nation Insider. My name's Jacob Farrar. With me as always,
I'm Chad Welker.
Chad, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you, Jacob?
I'm doing just fine. Another week of Akron Zips athletics. This week we had some soccer matches on campus, which was nice.
Yep, absolutely. Men's soccer wrapping up their exhibition schedule. And we've got the women's soccer team who had their home opener this past Sunday. And they're starting the season off well. 1-0-1, getting a victory against Eastern Illinois on Sunday with a goal from Louisa Fragnoli. And it was a rocket from about 20 yards out. So it was really exciting to see them get their first victory of the season.
And Coach Kuhn's first victory as head coach for the Lady Zips.
Yes, absolutely. So congratulations to her. And they're looking forward to their next contest, which is actually at West Virginia Thursday night. And then they will be back at home in double header action on Sunday. They will take on Southern Indiana at 1 p.m. And then the men will follow at 7 p.m. when they take on Northern Kentucky. But the men will also be at Virginia Commonwealth on Thursday night, taking on a former assistant coach, David Gifford, Jared Embick in his 13th season, leading the Zips once more, looking for star number 2.
There we go. And then just still a little bit further out, we got football looming. So I think when this next week's episode will be right on the cusp of the first home game, but still I think people are getting excited and hyped up for Zips football.
Yeah, the Cowboys are coming into town from Wyoming. They'll be here on Wednesday night. But a lot of activity happening on campus with the home football game, 7 o'clock kickoff. We're very excited to bring you that home opener, season opener from InfoCision Stadium, Sumif Health Field.
And then volleyball. Volleyball is around the corner as well.
Volleyball is also around the corner. They're going to start next week as well. They're going to head down to Raleigh for a tournament in North Carolina to take on the Wolfpack and a few other teams. But plenty of fall sports getting started.
Yeah, so
rocking and rolling now.
Safe to say that fall sports is upon us.
It is.
Already. In
Absolutely.
August, we're already in fall sports. So.
Yes. So, Jacob, I got a special guest for you today. I think
Looking
you prepared a little bit for it last night when we announced it on
little
social media. So it's my honor to introduce to you Dr. Andrew T. Goodrich, the athletic director here at the University of Akron.
Dr. Goodrich, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being
All
on
right.
Zips Nation.
Love
Zips
it.
Nation Insider. So today is an anniversary, a milestone of sort. Exactly 100 days today from your press conference.
Very nice.
Exactly 100 days. May 12th, I did the math. I looked it up last night, wanted to make sure. But we're exactly at 100 days since
Awesome.
your press conference.
I love it.
So 100 days in.
Yep.
How do you feel?
Fantastic.
Good.
An incredible 100 days. First of all, my family, we love this area, love Northeast Ohio. I grew up in upstate New York. This feels very much like home to me, so I really appreciate that. Been incredibly energized by the people here, our fans, our donors, our student athletes who have I got an opportunity to meet, our coaches. I hope you're enjoying some of the staff meetings that we've had. We're really building a culture of competitive excellence here, and I feel very, very good about it.
Good. We'll dive into a little bit more as we progress here in our conversation. But I want to talk a little bit about your background first off. What brought you to campus? What your journey looked like, and then now you're here 100 days into being the athletic director. So kind of walk me through your life, so to speak, to get you to this
We can
place.
recap that pretty quick. Listen, having grown up in upstate New York, I grew up on a dairy farm, and my mom had a restaurant. So really got a work ethic from being in both of those areas, both on the farm and in the restaurant. And I always like to talk about how one of the great things about growing up in a restaurant industry is you realize that results matter.
Sure.
Okay? Because it doesn't matter how much you care, and how hard you tried, if you deliver a steak that's not prepared correctly, it's going back.
It's
all
going
right?
back.
So with that in mind, I always wanted to just excel, whatever that is in life. Blessed to have incredible teachers, incredible coaches who helped guide me. After I got done playing college baseball at Cumberland University, I moved back to New York and I worked at IBM.
Oh, wow.
In their corporate headquarters, which is pretty unique for athletics directors to kind of have that corporate background. Though, as we see the hires coming up these days, more and more are coming from a corporate background. But it was an incredible experience. And then I was coaching youth baseball and youth football. And I came to realize that what I wanted to do was really impact the lives of young people.
Got it.
So I met some folks at Cornell, realized that athletics directors get to work in this space where you have an opportunity to grow young people from an athletic perspective and from an educational perspective, and then you get to run a business all along. I'm like, that's what I need to do.
That's what you need to do.
So worked for the Miami Hurricanes, worked at the University of Notre Dame, worked for South Florida, worked at Syracuse University, was the AD at Gardner-Webb University, and now here at Akron.
Here. So let's talk a little bit about that. You mentioned playing baseball. So I think that offers kind of a unique perspective of both a student athlete and also along the way you picked up an MBA,
Yes.
PhD, so an academic as well. How does that background of both a student athlete and, I hate to use the word academic, help go into not just what you do as ED, but also from just a general leadership perspective?
So one of the greatest misconceptions that are out there is that athletics and education are two separate things. They're not.
Yeah.
Athletics is education.
Sure.
Right? I'm not a huge Tom Brady fan as a football guy, right? I kind of like him post-career. He's a little better because he beat up on my team a little bit. But I love to use him as the example, right? When we go back and we look and we realize that at that draft, there's a reason why everyone passed on him, right? He wasn't the biggest, fastest, strongest guy. But what he revealed to the world over time is he was probably the smartest guy.
Sure.
And so when we talk to our student athletes here, regardless of sport, we try to help them understand that when you go to the class, right, you start developing processing speed, just like your computer.
Yeah.
We always hate it when we open up our computer and it takes forever to boot, right?
Sure do.
That's processing speed.
Yeah.
Well, young people, right, when you go to class and you try to do something that you don't know and you're learning, something you're uncomfortable with, you start to build processing speed. When you build processing speed and then you start to apply it to your sport, all of a sudden you're making quicker decisions, better decisions, and the people making quicker and better decisions often have the best results. You become a better athlete
Got it.
as a result of being a better student, and we need everyone to understand that. We do that here, and we're going to have a lot of success.
Got it. That's a great analogy. I love that. I know as you go through not just you, but as I've looked for new jobs or interviewed for new jobs, I often ask people around me that have some sort of connection with the organization through, networking or whatever. I'm curious, as you were looking at this opportunity at the University of Akron, kind of what was being said to you. I'm sure you probably asked some people.
Yep.
I know Gardner-Webb played basketball here.
Yeah.
Last. Did you happen to come up on that?
I did not make the visit, but I do recall watching that, and that was a very, very close game. Went to overtime.
It was a win for the Zips for those that playing along at home. But
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, like what's being discussed? What were some of the things that folks said to you about this position? Both, maybe pros and cons, but I'm sure you got some sort of feedback. That circle that you're in is pretty small, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Just curious about what's being said about the University of Akron, essentially outside of Akron.
I think there were a lot of people in my inner circle when I told them that I was interested in the Akron position who said, you need to look at the region, right? The population is declining. You need to look at enrollment. Enrollment's been declining. You need to look at budgets. Budgets have been declining. And then I did, and I looked at that. And then I met R.J. Niemer, right? And I met Mike Saxon. And then I met some of the coaches. And all of a sudden I realized this place is filled with great people.
Sure.
And organizations win or lose based on their culture. And the culture is based on the people. And then I started looking at the upside. And I realized that we're in the 17th or 18th largest media market in the country, right? We have the Pro Football Hall of Fame here because people are passionate about great sports. And then you start realizing that we have incredible alumni. We have incredible donors. And there was this huge opportunity that if we could just put it all together,
Sure.
that we could do it. I think one of the greatest experiences of my career was being able to work at the University of Miami post-Nevin Shapiro era.
Okay.
Because when you were there was a lot of people who felt that that program was going to die off. They were going to end football. They were going to kill the whole thing. Having had the opportunity to be there and help them revive that program, to be able to look the folks in the crowd who were very, very negative and didn't see the positives, and be able to work through that in a very successful way, gave me the motivation and the confidence and the courage to come here and say, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's rebuild it.
Got it.
And I am absolutely 100 days in, absolutely 100% certain we're going to do that.
So the blueprint, the pieces are there. You have a
Yes.
blueprint in your mind. It's now literally assembling the project or whatever.
Exactly.
The product. Well, that's great. Again, we live here in Akron, Zips Nation. We're here focused. I mean, obviously, we have alumni and people outside of the state, but I've always just been curious about what's being said, and I appreciate that. They start with a negative, but then you look at kind of the silver lining, so to speak, that goes with it. So.
Hey, one of my favorite business analogies that I'm using as I meet with donors is to talk about Apple. Okay. Look at Apple Computer, right? Steve Jobs starts Apple, gets let go. They go into a financial tailspin. They bring him back.
Yeah.
And then what did he do? The first thing that Steve Jobs did is he created a partnership with Microsoft. In doing so, that's their heated rival.
Sure.
That is their arch enemy, right? But what he realized was he had to make business decisions that was going to help the entire enterprise.
Got it.
Right? We're going to do the same thing here, right? Yeah. Have we struggled? Like every other university in the United States. Take a look and read the newspapers. There are very few institutes of higher education that are having their best days right now. And a lot of that has to do with the population shift and a number of other things. That being said, we have really intelligent people here, very capable and passionate people here, and a very good plan to help us grow. And I think that you're going to hear me say this a lot, make the climb.
Actually, we're going to talk about that in a second. Let's jump to that now.
All right.
So if you follow you on social media, hashtag make the climb.
Yes.
What is it? Talk about that, and
All
how
right.
can Zips Nation be involved with that?
So this is it, right? When I was here visiting, I walked from the hotel to campus.
Okay.
It was very early on a Sunday morning. Very few people outside. I just wanted to get a feel of the downtown. I wanted to get a feel of this city. I wanted to understand it. And as I walked past the Summit County Courthouse, I took a left, and I go by the Polsky building, and I realize I'm like walking straight uphill. Nobody told me that this is on the top of a mountain, right? But what was interesting about it is, because of my nature, I Googled the word Akron.
Sure.
Like, what does Akron mean? And I realized that Akron means peak or summit, hence Summit County. I'm starting to put this together. And I can feel my heart racing because I'm going up, and I'm like, what am I going to do, take a side street? And it made me think about this entire institution in this region. We are collectively trying to make the climb. And yes, it will be hard. And yes, your heart will race. And yes, that could be scary. But you've got to finish the climb. You've got to make the climb. Everything we want to achieve is on the other end of hard. We just have to have the courage to go do it. And so when we make the climb, that means make the climb in the standings. That means make the climb in terms of attendance. Make the climb in terms of the number of donors and donor dollars raised. We want to make the climb in terms of academic reputation. We want to make the climb, and it's analogous to not just every young person that might come to school here, but every alum who already has. There's something in your life that you want to improve upon. We want to be the example. If we can do it, you can do it, and we can do it together. So collectively, let's make the climb.
I'm bought in. All right,
let's go.
How has this message been received by the teams, the players? I mean, is this something that's been leading? Have you been going out to meeting with the teams?
Yeah, I try to drop it and share it in all my conversations, and I do believe it's resonating. Once we start see people bringing signs to the football game, I hope that's my goal. Somebody
Zips
out
Nation, there we go.
Somebody out there,
Make the climb.
make the climb signs. We did something similar, and frankly, this is from something I've learned from. We used the phrase "full speed ahead" at the University of Miami, going through that era, and we knew when we started seeing people use that phrase in game, on social, it started to connect everyone, and you stop focusing on the negative and you start focusing on the positive.
Yeah.
You become grateful for the things that you have, and there is something powerful about that.
Sure.
And we're going to do that here.
Got it. Make the climb. Definitely something we'll use moving forward on Zips Nation Insider. So you've lived in Akron now 100 days.
Yes.
What excites you about the region, living in Akron? What have you been able to experience so far?
All right, the farmer's market is my favorite thing. I'm sorry, it is. That's my favorite thing so far. That's me growing up on a farm to being able to just go buy some ears of corn and just slather that thing in butter and be able to take my dog Charlie out there to go run around and chase stuff. That's been my favorite thing so far. But I am very, very looking forward to have an opportunity to watch our teams play. That's really it. Like, I can't wait for Thursday night. I can't wait to watch our men's and women's soccer programs get started. Maggie won that first game.
Yeah.
That was fun to get over there and see them win that first one. I've really, really enjoyed going to practice, believe it or not, volleyball practice, seeing the kids out there working hard. I think that's what I want everyone to understand, is that these student athletes work so hard all the time, and we see the fruits of their labor on the court, but maybe we don't always appreciate everything that they're doing off the court and in the classroom.
Because those are both parts of it. They are student athletes. Having spent some time in the College of Business and having student athletes as students of mine, I was always impressed by the dedication that they have to their craft on the field, but also those that took advantage of the opportunity in the classroom. So fans are going to come out. We've already had fans at a couple soccer matches. We got fans coming to football. What can we expect, Zips Nation, as we start coming to events this season? Is there going to be anything different, anything new? What's going to be the atmosphere?
It's hard because I don't have a context. These are all my first games as well.
It's new to you.
You know what I mean?
It's a good point.
But I will answer it like this. I know that our team is working very, very hard to make sure that the in-game entertainment is on point, thinking very critically about things that we're seeing in and around the region, and making sure we have some fun ways to keep people interactive and enjoying the games. I think you're going to see a lot of that.
We have Dr. Andrew Goodrich, the AD here, Athletic Director at the University of Akron Athletics, on Zips Nation Insider today. Dr. Goodrich, 100 days in, we talked about that. Right off the bat, May 12th was your start date. You had some highs and lows.
Yeah.
Highs being some of our spring championships, where women's lacrosse, MAC champion, some track, but also some lows right off with some of the challenges of the football team. So we have some on the field, off the field. And you talked a little bit about off the field. So what are some of the things that you're, kind of from initiatives, things you're working on to help strengthen that balance between in the classroom and on the field?
Well, as we make the climb, there's going to be ups and downs, right? That's part of the journey. That being said, having met with the football coaches and the football players and our academic advisors, I feel very strongly that they are on the right trajectory. Okay, so I feel really good about that. And I think it's important to notice, and I believe this stat is correct, and if I'm wrong, Jackie will come out here and correct me.
We'll put it in the show notes.
But I believe, exactly. We have 105 young men on this football team. 100 of them have never lost an APR point. Okay?
It's great.
Right? Now, I understand the penalties because I understand the rules that were written. This is an opportunity for us, and I think everyone in the NCAA, to look at this situation and determine whether or not the rules as they are written are appropriate for this day and time.
Got it.
All right? And I think that can be handled very professionally. I think it is being handled professionally. And as I told the team, if they do their part, they go to class, right? They get the grades, and they handle their stuff on the field, then it's my job as the administrator and the director of athletics to handle that situation off the field.
Got it. Great answer, because I think some fans are concerned about that.
Yep.
If you look at, especially right after the announcement, it was tough. It was tough to know that there's not that carrot to play for of going to a bowl game. But
Yep.
I appreciate just kind of those words, and I think it's going to reflect. I think that the players are going to have a little bit of a chip. Hey, we want to prove something that we're not slouches. Granted, it's in the classroom on the
Yep.
field, but I think it will reflect in the play on the field. I just that's my hope. That's my feeling.
As a former student athlete, I'm often very, very careful not to speak for the players because I want them to be able to speak for themselves. But I agree with you based on the interactions I've had with these young men. I would be surprised if that team did not come out incredibly passionate and ready to demonstrate that they are a postseason worthy football team.
Got it. Love to hear that. Love to hear that. So let's talk about the ever-changing environment of college athletics.
Yeah.
Is there anything happened this afternoon that we don't know about? Like, is there a new rule? Is the House of Representatives change? Like, it is a movie. Use the analogy, a moving
Yes.
goalpost, right?
Exactly.
How do you keep up with those things? And what are some of the things that you're working on in your position with some of the things like NIL,
Yeah.
player compensation, these things that are, again, ever-changing environment?
Well, I've been in meetings most of this afternoon, so certainly something may have changed and that I don't know about. But that being said, the way that I really manage this is I've got a network of incredible mentors and advisors that we speak to on a very regular basis. It's a blessing from having worked at places like the University of Notre Dame or Syracuse University, where you can reach out to those administrators, have those conversations, get a sense about what they're seeing, what they're doing, what their peers are doing. And so I think it's important to know that this is going to continue to evolve and change, so that we've got to make some principled decisions about how we move forward. I don't want us to be in the position that we're chasing things. I'd much rather us be in a position where we are setting those trends. Yeah. And when the time is right, I can share a little bit more of those details. And it's interesting, right? As a director of athletics, I want to be able to give you the absolute clearest direction. This is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it, this is exactly why we're doing it. There's a couple things with that. Number one, we don't necessarily want our opponents to know exactly what we're doing. So it's difficult for me right here, right now to say, this is the plan, the formula is ABC, right? You just gave away the recipe for Coke, man, you're in trouble, right? And so do we have a plan? Yes, we do, right? Are we working through this with all of the right people on and off campus? Yes, we are. Have our coaches been involved? Yes, they have. And I feel very good about the way that we are going to position ourselves here to be very competitive in the MAC and potentially beyond.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. I think one of the things we hear from Zips Nation is some of the frustration. Historically, Akron's been, at least on the basketball side, a buyer. In other words, with the transfer window, we've been able to get players. This past season, we lost one that was a fan favorite. So I think that's some of the frustration of our fans is, being able to retain.
Yeah.
So talk about retention a little bit and what some of the things you're thinking about from retaining, making sure that, these players that we become familiar with, household names, we get to see them for hopefully more than one season.
So it's interesting, right? Because there's two sides of that. On one end, yes, we want to retain people. And I think the way you retain people is with the experience. And let's not be naive, right? Because if you're a young person and you have the opportunity for life-changing revenue by going to another institution, there's a part of me in my heart that wants to say, I want you to be here.
Yeah.
But it might be better for you to go there. That being said, that door swings both ways.
Sure.
And I can tell you from my experience working with these student athletes, sometimes you get there and you wish you could come back.
Yeah.
And that's difficult. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. That being said, we are going to work on building authentic, trusting, honest relationships with student athletes, and I say their parents, right? Because a vast majority of these young people have their parents representing them. There are some young people who have legitimate, licensed, credentialed agents, but it's mostly a family friend or a parent. I think it's important that we build trust. The greatest resource we can have is being the type of place that does what they say they're going to do, So if in the event we do lose someone, that other people then say, I really loved my experience at Akron. I think that you should go to Akron. And so that we can continue to recruit and retain the greatest.
Yeah, to your point, the door does swing both ways.
Yep.
We lose players, but we also gain some at the same time.
Yep.
We need to be that place, that destination that people know they can grow both as a student, but also as an athlete.
And I'll add to that real quick. Like, look at the number of teams that won a championship last year, right?
Yeah.
Winning championships attracts people who want to be
Absolutely.
champions,
Absolutely.
right? And it does help retain them.
Winning is contagious.
Yes, it is.
As they say. So all these places, you shared some of those places that you've been. What has been the biggest, best experience that's kind of shaped where you're at today? What has been if you were to whittle down all that experience into one thing that makes you
So
who you
many.
are today?
But I would cite the University of South Florida. I think one of the most impactful and inspirational experiences I've had is working with the administration and staff at the University of South Florida, in particular that football program, because I joined in 2005, the first year they added to the Big East. I believe they started the football program in 1997. So they were the fastest team in the history of college football to go from inception to being ranked in the top 25 to being ranked in the top 10 and ultimately ranked number 2 in the country. When we started football there, we literally were in trailers, not figuratively, literally in trailers. Jim Levitt was an incredible leader of that football program, and I saw his passion and his commitment, and I think I learned from him that one person can be a majority, right? And so when you're a South Florida grad and people tell you you shouldn't start football, you can't be relevant because Miami's already there, Florida State's already there, Florida's already there, right? And then you see what they did in that short amount of time. I got my PhD from South Florida in 2015. So in over those 10 years, I believe we had victories over Florida State, Miami, Clemson, South Carolina. Okay.
Not too shabby of a resume.
Not too shabby, right? Then they said you wouldn't sell the building out. We sold the building out because we shared that stadium with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It showed me that anything, and I mean anything, is possible in intercollegiate athletics if you have the right vision, the right drive, and the right people, which we have here at Akron right now.
Got it. So going back to what we talked about earlier, the ingredients in the blueprint.
Exactly.
Bringing those two things together.
And if you ask Gordon Ramsay, the third element is time.
Time.
I learned a lot from Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay.
All right? Gordon Ramsay will tell you, you can have all the right ingredients, you can have all the right utensils, right? You can have the oven set at the right temperature, but you can't control for time. It still takes time to bake that cake. I say that because to our fans, we're going to need a little time.
Yeah.
But we're going to bake that cake.
Got it. I think that's the first Gordon Ramsay reference we've had on Zips Nation Insider. So
It better not be the last.
No, we'll have you back. That'll be a hallmark of your visits to
There
the
you go.
podcast. Is
I want Gordon to retweet this. Let's go.
Let's go, Gordon Ramsay. So we talked about your background, growing up upstate New York, working on a dairy farm, restaurant. Is there anything that we should know about you? What's the one thing that we should know that maybe a lot of people don't know about you?
Ooh, okay. I'm an avid reader. I love to read stories about courage. I love to read stories about turnarounds. That inspires me. I'm inspired by performance art.
Oh, wow.
Right? So I love going to plays or concerts. I love seeing human beings performing their very best, regardless of what the task or performance is. That inspires me.
That's awesome. So one of the questions we like to ask our guests, by the way, Dr. Goodrich, athletics director here at the University of Akron, we call it our hometown pizza question. So we're going to come visit you in upstate New York. No, what city? Where are you at? Upstate New York?
So Owego, New York.
Owego, New York. So if we're going to
Yes.
Owego, New York, visit your hometown. Where are we going to pizza?
You're going to Mario's.
Mario's Pizza.
Yes.
What's your order at Mario's?
Oh, I'm probably, I'm,
By the way,
it's Sicilian style pizza.
Okay.
Which kind of leads to where I'm going with my local, right? Luigi's.
Sure.
And that's not a joke. Legit. Mario's Luigi's here in Akron. Similar
I just put
Sicilian
those two
style.
together. Mario and Luigi.
That's what I'm saying. That
There we
you
go.
know, for real.
So we're going to Mario's. So what is the order? What are you getting there?
I
Pepperoni?
pepperoni, extra cheese. Yep.
Okay.
So all right, now I'm going to make the people at Luigi's upset because at Mario's I could get ranch dressing. I'm one of the ranch dressing guys, and I know not
So
everyone.
you're a ranch dipper.
I am
A ranch
I
dipper.
am
So
something else you did not know about me.
we
But you
go.
can't do that at Luigi's because they don't have ranch dressing. They just won't do it.
I did not know that they didn't have ranch dressing.
Yeah. Sorry.
And also, every time go to Luigi's, bring cash.
Bring cash.
Did you find out the hard way?
Yes, I did.
No one said anything. First day on the job when I worked for you 10 years ago, whatever, 12 years ago now, bring cash. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, good.
Yep.
Well,
Lesson learned.
lesson learned. There we go. All right, we also like to ask a question of our guests, specifically student athletes, but also coaches or whatever. When you played baseball, did you have any rituals or superstitions, things that you had to do to make sure that the game went well? And then, as an athletic director, same thing. Do you have any rituals or superstitions? when it comes-
So, as a baseball player, yes, probably a little bit. Nothing specific. I wanted my walkout music to be anything Rocky themed. So
Okay.
it could be any song from the Rocky collection.
Okay.
That was my go-to. And I would tell you, I genuinely am trying to break myself of superstitions. It is something that a donor at my previous school talked to me about. And I realized, you know what? I need to break that.
Interesting.
Right? There's a little bit of, and frankly, I think that she recognized it by me standing in certain places in the suite during football games, going, "Why are you standing there?" Well, we scored a touchdown the last time I was standing here, so I'm standing here for now. You know what? That's not how faith works, friend.
Yeah,
So
there
I
you
said,
go.
you know what? You're right. I don't have any control over this. All the stuff that I've done, it's been decided, right? It'll play itself out on the field.
Got it. By the way, we have some great superstitions here. There's
Okay.
some, as you start meeting with coaches, I'll let you in on the soccer is probably the best one. So if you get a chance to
Okay.
talk with Coach Embeck and his staff about
Okay.
that's a good one. All right, this is our rapid fire segment. So
All
I'm going
right.
to ask you a bunch of questions. First thing that comes into your mind as I read out the
Is
question.
there a mute button on this, just in case I need to? All right, guess not. All right,
No, there's
play
not.
it safe. Play it
There's
safe.
not. Okay, here we go. Favorite sport to watch besides the Zips? Sports team, sorry.
Favorite Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills. Best piece of advice you've ever received?
Do it your way, because they're going to blame you either way.
I like that. Favorite meal after a big game?
Ooh, after a big game, favorite meal after a big game, spaghetti and meatballs.
Spaghetti meatballs. Favorite movie?
Oh, tough. I have many. One single favorite movie? It's so hard to.
I'll give you three.
Rudy.
Rudy? Okay.
Yeah, Rudy is one of my favorites. Gosh. Can I go to a series, to be honest with you?
Yeah.
Because my head keeps
But
going to.
There's no wrong
All right,
answer with
all
rapid
right.
fire.
Hey, I want to. Listen, I'm trying to play by the rules.
No,
I'm
you're
a
good.
rule. I'm a rule follower.
You're good.
Game of Thrones. I love
Okay.
Game of Thrones. I love it. I know it's not a movie, but I do enjoy that.
Got it,
And
got
then, drama. Let's go. A Few Good Men.
Few good men.
Departed.
Departed.
I'm
There's
sorry.
your-
I love The Departed.
There you
Are
go.
Kidding me?
Do you have a hidden talent? And what is your hidden talent?
Oof. I doubt that I have a hidden talent. I'll rotate that question
Okay.
by saying I turn 50 years old next year.
Okay.
And maybe 15 years ago, I told myself I'm going to learn something totally brand new when I turn 50.
Okay.
And I have determined that is playing the piano.
Okay.
So when I turn 50, I am going to get lessons, and I frankly, have absolutely no idea how to do it. But I just want to take on the challenge
Sure.
of doing something completely new and different. So when you interview me in 2 years,
2 years.
I'm
We'll
going to
have a
say
piano- we'll have a piano here.
hidden talent.
We'll have a piano.
Bring the Casio. We'll do a little Coldplay or something, right? Let's go.
Okay.
I'm setting the bar pretty high on that.
We're
We
gonna-
can edit this, yeah?
No. We're just keeping it in. We're keeping
Okay.
this in.
All right.
So accountability is part of
That
goals.
is true.
Accountability
That is
is
true.
part of goals.
I've
right?
got to be the role model.
There
All
you
right.
go. If you could have one dinner with one athlete, past or present, who would it be? It's hard hitting. We're hard hitting. here.
Charles Barkley. Just
Charles
because
Barkley?
I love him. He just would be so much fun. I just think you'd have fun. I'd enjoy that.
Okay, last rapid fire question, and this is our conversation at the soccer game the other day.
Okay.
Of Stephen R. Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, what is your favorite habit?
Be proactive.
Be proactive.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, final question. Dr. Goodrich, why should Zips Nation be excited about this year?
Because we have the right people. We have incredible resources. We have everything we need right now to be successful. We have it. We have to believe it, right? Great coaches. We do have incredible coaches. We have great staff. We've got people who are working their tails off morning, noon, and night in this building and on this campus. That's why I think that we should be very, very excited.
And that we includes us as fans.
100%.
So we got we as you as your staff, we as the players on the field, but
Yep.
also we as Zips Nation. So
Believe.
got it. Make the climb.
Make the climb.
Well, thank you, Dr. Goodrich. Appreciate you being on Zips Nation Insider. We're looking forward to this season, this year, as well as having you back and seeing how well you've done on the. Hopefully, it's not 2 years. We'll have you back before 2 years. But
I just don't know that I'm going to have that skill set ready.
that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. We've enjoyed having you today, and thank you so much.
Thank
Go
you.
Zips.
You got it. Go Zips.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You got it.
You are amazing. Our next question was like so gold.
Right?
I'm not kidding.